episode of INGRAMS Skin Sessions, a thought-provoking campaign that encourages brave conversations which are more than just skin deep. And today's topic is a big one, as there is a lot to unpack and discuss. Pronouns. Now, the acceptance and, I think, understanding of transgender and non-binary people has recently become a very prominent topic, and this has also resulted in the spread of new words for some people. But understanding that words have power and that calling someone by their chosen pronoun has become incredibly important.
Absolutely. So to go back a little, a pronoun is a word that refers to either the people talking, so I or you, or someone or something that is being talked about, she, him, they. As society has evolved, so has the role of gender identity, making the topic of pronouns even more relevant. Now, the big question is the number of individuals who still do not understand these different gender identities. And we want to play our part in education and inclusivity. Now, the goal is to help people communicate accurately and respectfully with one another. We are joined this morning by Lekgotlolo Machaba, the first trans woman to make it to Miss South Africa Top 30, as well as political analyst, journalist and broadcaster Eusebius Makaiser, as we delve a little bit deeper into this topic this morning. Good morning to both of you. How are you doing?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome, guys. I want to take a deep breath after before a conversation like this. I would imagine this has become like the global norm because it's become such a contentious issue, and it's a good thing that we're talking about it. Surely it is, but we've got to take the good with the bad. But let's start with how you do this. Eusebius, what are your pronouns?
It's a good question, Graham, and not often as a gay man do I feel like a straight white man. So when it comes to this conversation, you and I are actually in the same WhatsApp group, in the sense that for me, my pronouns are quite easy and it's the societal norm. My sense of who I am from a gender point of view, male, is exactly what was assigned to me at birth. You are he, him, his. So those were the pronouns that came with my physical body, and that's what we mean by cisgender. Cis is the opposite of trans.
Okay.
And all it means is that there's a psychological or a subjective alignment between my sense of who I am from an identity point of view and how I present bodily. Yeah,
okay.
Which would be very different for someone like Lekgotlolo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to give context as well, I mentioned this, you are the first woman, the first trans woman to compete in Miss South Africa and make it to top 30. Why was it so important for you to enter this competition, understanding the prejudice that you face with entering this competition?
Firstly, I don't really pay attention to what the society defines prejudice. I firmly believe that I'm here for a reason, and I have to fulfill what was written before me, before I was born. So I'm assigned a trans woman because I am needed, my existence is needed. And with Miss South Africa, they gave me such a wonderful opportunity for trans individual to participate, and it gave me an opportunity to educate and show people that trans individuals do exist, and we are diverse, and we are beautiful from within. So with Miss South Africa, I was able to educate about my existence.
For you, hormone replacement therapy was a part of that, and you've chosen to be very vocal and put that journey out there for people to see, which I would imagine for others following in your footsteps would be a very powerful thing to see and be a part of. What has that done for your own self-confidence going through that journey? Has that given you what you thought it would? Open up a window into that space for us.
So in my case, I suffered gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia. I was never comfortable in my skin, so the hormonal replacement therapy helped me a lot in terms of my body formation. Now I pass as a woman, which is a privilege as well. So it has helped me a lot in terms of tackling societal issues, like being able to be myself in sectors, not necessarily myself, to be honest, because I can never disclose that I'm trans.
A version of, yeah.
Because of, so it has helped me a lot in terms of being in public sectors without having to put in mind that I'm trans. You need to be careful. You need to try and slow down. You need to hide your existence. So hormonal replacement therapy has made me confident. It's because I look like a female, I pass. But if a person who hasn't yet transitioned, I don't think that even having the confidence to apply to be part of Miss South Africa due to not having the societal beauty standards of how a trans woman should be like.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I love that you said earlier on is that we are becoming so aware about this, and we are having this conversation right now to make it more aware for other people and inclusivity. Why do you think it is so important for us to be sensitive as well around this topic of pronouns?
Just because it costs us absolutely nothing to allow other people to maximally be comfortable in their skin.
Yeah.
You know, as Graham was saying in the introduction to this series of conversations that we've had for a while now, it really is simultaneously skin deep, but it's also much deeper than that. We want to live in a society in which everyone's dignity is upheld. If we take it back to the absolute basics of our constitutional model, fundamentally, you have a right to inherent self-worth. And what that means is in our interpersonal relationships, I must do as much as I can to allow you to live autonomously, to live freely, and to affirm your dignity as a person. And for me, the self-awareness that you're talking about and the educational element that this entire campaign is about is really setting a low bar for decency. Allowing other people to be just comfortable in this
basic.
is an absolute basic, you know what I mean? So that for me is what it's fundamentally about.
Yeah. I would imagine, Nolo, in your space, people have accepted and hopefully you've found your community. Are there those that have still not accepted who you are and where you have come from? For instance, are there those that still use your dead name and won't accept that this is who you are?
Luckily, I don't have a dead name, so I've been Letlogonolo since I was born. But if a person don't necessarily respect my identity, I feel like you don't respect me as a human. So I wouldn't even give them an opportunity to be in my life. I discard them. So I focus on positivity because I'm all about energy. Whatever I put out there will end up manifesting. So if I keep on entertaining people who are negative towards me, I won't be able to reach my full potential. I'll be giving them an opportunity to take me down, which I do not allow. So respect my identity so that I can also respect their identity, because we are all diverse for a reason.
Did this happen overnight, this confidence, this belief in oneself? Is it an incremental growth in backing yourself and handling those moments, maybe finding a learning or a teaching that you can take on board? Or was there a defining moment where you picked yourself up and just kicked back and said, how did this person arrive?
I've went through a lot. So like the modeling industry on its own, I never disclosed my identity, and I've seen how it had a negative impact on my mental health. So now I'm living for a reason, knowing very well that my authentic self matters. I'm here for a reason. So if you do not respect me, if you don't respect my authentic self, how do you expect me to respect the authentic self? Because you want to be comfortable in my space, but yet you do not allow me to be comfortable. So respect me as a person, because if you don't, you're affecting me, you're limiting me.
And both of you just show that you are owning the power of being authentically yourself. But what does that power mean to both of you as individuals?
For me, it's very simple, and I really am just echoing the brilliance of Letlogonolo here. It's about living your potential. If you have to look over your shoulder all the time and second-guess how you should present in a particular space, then it's difficult to get on with the business of living, let alone thriving. And I'm also aware that there will be many young people, many adults watching, who have not yet unlocked their own authentic selves because of societal pressure, because of homophobia in the church, in the community, at school, in the home. And so, in a sense, although things have changed, Graham, in a sense, we are also both outliers in South Africa, because we've got to be honest, the amount of transphobia, queerphobia that exists is enormous. But hopefully someone who's watching this conversation can see that the cost of authenticity isn't always deadly.
Yeah.
And you just need that one person to hear that one thought at the right time. If you had to think about where you were not even that long ago, what do you need to hear as a transgender person? What is that mantra, if you will, that you say to yourself that another person could possibly use in their own context to give them the same kind of confidence and strength?
I'm a firm believer in God before anything else, so I usually use Jeremiah 1 verse 5, that I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb, then I set you apart to be a prophet to the nations. So I usually use that in relation to myself, that God set me apart to be a trans woman for a reason, because the world needs my existence. So every single person should know that they are created for a specific purpose to fulfill. So whenever you try to tackle such issues, always remember that you are here for a reason and for only a limited time. So use that wisely, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone.
Keep using your voice, keep using your power. You're inspiring not only us, but everyone watching there out now that had questions, and you guys are doing your best. So thank you so much for joining on this very, very important conversation.
Thank you.
Love you guys. It is brave conversations like these which will help foster inclusive, respectful communication and relationships. It's all about human connection. So please join this week's Brave Conversation yourself. And because we love you so much, we're going to give you the opportunity to win R1,000 in cash as well. All you have to do is simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter or Instagram page and tell us how you play a part in uplifting or embracing inclusivity. And don't forget to include that hashtag, Your Skin, Your Brave.
Now, this week's competition closes on Friday, the 2nd of September at midday. And remember, those T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
Do you own your skin? Do you wear it bravely, even when others try to dim its glow? Does it represent your strength, your heritage, or does it express your brave and unconditional love? New look Ingrams, your skin, your brave.